House Republicans are facing renewed internal divisions as disagreements over election legislation, government priorities, and economic policy continue to shape the debate on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Mike Johnson appeared on Fox News this week to defend the Republican-backed SAVE Act, a proposal that would require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. Supporters say the measure is intended to strengthen election security, while critics argue it could create new barriers for eligible voters. During the interview, Johnson joked that if he ever got a tattoo, it would read, "Save America," referring to the legislation and emphasizing his continued support for the bill. Johnson also said House Republicans plan to advance the proposal again and are exploring whether parts of the legislation could be included in a budget reconciliation package. That process would allow certain measures to pass the Senate with a simple majority instead of the usual 60-vote requirement. However, Senate rules place strict limits on what can be included under reconciliation, meaning the proposal still faces significant procedural hurdles. Meanwhile, another Republican lawmaker, Representative Thomas Massie of Kentucky, has continued to distance himself from some members of his own party. Massie recently drew attention following a tense exchange with a Fox Digital reporter. The reporter questioned him about personal allegations that were unrelated to his work in Congress. Massie rejected the claims and criticized what he described as tabloid-style journalism. The exchange quickly spread across social media and highlighted growing tensions between Massie and some media figures aligned with former President Donald Trump. Massie has also continued pressing for greater transparency regarding government records related to Jeffrey Epstein, an issue that has divided some Republicans in recent months. In a separate interview, Massie questioned the party's continued focus on election fraud claims. He pointed out that Republicans currently control the House, the Senate, the White House, and hold a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. Massie argued that the party should concentrate on addressing major policy challenges rather than repeatedly debating past elections. Those comments reflect broader disagreements within the Republican conference as lawmakers prepare for upcoming legislative battles. Another challenge facing congressional Republicans is the Senate's current schedule. Senators are not expected to return to Washington until mid-July, delaying consideration of several major legislative proposals. Speaker Johnson acknowledged the delay but said he remains optimistic that Republicans will continue advancing their agenda. He argued that election integrity remains one of the party's highest priorities and expressed confidence that lawmakers will continue searching for procedural paths to move the SAVE Act forward. Housing policy has also become a major topic in Washington. A bipartisan housing affordability bill recently passed both chambers of Congress with broad support. The legislation seeks to increase housing construction, reduce regulatory barriers, and expand access to affordable homes for first-time buyers and renters. Although the White House previously praised the legislation, uncertainty emerged after President Donald Trump delayed signing the bill. Speaker Johnson said he still expects the measure to reach the president's desk and believes it will eventually become law. Housing affordability remains one of the country's most significant economic concerns, with many Americans continuing to face high mortgage rates, rising rents, and limited housing supply. Immigration policy is also creating debate within the Republican Party. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine urged the federal government to reconsider policies affecting Haitian immigrants with temporary protected status. DeWine argued that many Haitian workers play essential roles in manufacturing, healthcare, food production, and other industries across Ohio. He warned that removing large numbers of legally authorized workers could create labor shortages and place additional pressure on businesses that are already struggling to fill open positions. Several local officials and business leaders have expressed similar concerns, saying immigrant workers have become an important part of their regional economies. Meanwhile, lawmakers remain divided over U.S. foreign policy. Some Republican senators have argued that the United States should continue taking a firm approach toward Iran, while others across the political spectrum have urged greater emphasis on diplomacy to reduce the risk of further military escalation. On the Democratic side, Senator Jon Ossoff criticized the administration's economic record, arguing that many American families continue to struggle with the cost of groceries, healthcare, and housing despite earlier promises to lower prices. Economic issues continue to dominate national political debate, with inflation, housing affordability, healthcare costs, and wages consistently ranking among voters' top concerns. As Congress prepares to return to a full legislative schedule, lawmakers face growing pressure to deliver results on issues that directly affect American households. Whether Republicans can overcome internal divisions and whether bipartisan cooperation remains possible on key issues such as housing, immigration, and election policy will likely shape the political landscape in the months ahead. You're listening to our National Affairs Bulletin. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more national and international news throughout the day.